Long ago, in a kingdom surrounded by mountains and rivers of silver, there lived a wise and beloved queen named Elara. She ruled with kindness and fairness, and her people trusted her as the heart of their land. But peace never lasts forever. In the shadows beyond the borders, enemies gathered warlords and traitors who envied the kingdom's prosperity. They planned to invade, to capture the queen, and to seize her throne. To protect her, two warriors stepped forward. One was a man named Eric, a fearless swordsman known for his strength and loyalty. The other was Lyanna, a skilled woman warrior, swift as the wind and deadly with her twin blades. They were not just protectors of the crown, they were guardians of hope, bound by an oath to defend their queen at all costs. One stormy night, the enemy struck. Horns blared across the dark hills as thousands of soldiers poured into the valley. Fire arrows lit up the sky, and the castle walls shook under the force of siege weapons. Inside the Great Hall, Queen Elara stood calm but resolute, knowing the fate of her people rested on her survival. Eric and Lyanna knelt before her. "Your Majesty," Eric said, gripping his sword. "We will not let them reach you," Lyanna added firmly. "Even if we must fight until our last breath, you will remain safe." The queen placed her hands on their shoulders. "Then go, my guardians. Protect not only me, but the hope of this kingdom." With that, the battle began. Eric led the charge at the castle gates, cutting down waves of enemies with powerful strikes. His sword gleamed under the firelight, every blow sending sparks into the air. By his side, Lyanna moved like lightning, striking with precision and agility. She weaved through the battlefield, her blades flashing, felling enemies twice her size. Together, they were unstoppable, strength and speed, courage and cunning, but the enemy was relentless. The warlord commanding the army, a brutal man named Chaol, pushed his soldiers forward with ruthless force. "Bring me the queen," he roared. "Alive or dead, the crown will be mine." Hours passed, and the castle courtyards were filled with the clash of steel, the cries of warriors, and the thunder of war drums. Eric fought fiercely, but even his strength began to wane. Lyanna, blooded but unbroken, stood back to back with him as enemies surrounded them. "We can't let them through," she whispered. Eric nodded, his eyes burning with determination. In the darkest moment, when it seemed the gates would fall, Queen Elara herself appeared on the balcony above. She raised the royal banner, its colors shining against the flames. "My people," she cried, her voice carrying across the battlefield, "do not give in to fear. This is our home, our land. Fight with all your heart." Her courage inspired the soldiers of the kingdom. They rallied behind Eric and Lyanna, charging forward with renewed strength. The tide of battle shifted. One by one, the enemy was pushed back. Finally, Eric and Lyanna confronted Chaol himself. He was a towering figure in black armor, wielding an axe as heavy as stone. The duel was fierce. Eric's blade clashed against Chaol's axe with thunderous force, sparks flying with every strike. Lyanna darted in and out, striking whenever she saw an opening. Chaol roared in fury, swinging wildly, but the Guardians fought with perfect unity. At last, Eric knocked the axe from Chaol's hands, and Lyanna delivered the final blow, forcing him to his knees. Defeated, Chaol was dragged away by the queen's soldiers. The battlefield fell silent, except for the sound of the wind carrying away the smoke. When the dawn rose, the kingdom still stood. The people cheered as Queen Elara descended to the courtyard, placing her hands on the shoulders of Eric and Lyanna. "You have saved not just me," she said softly, "but the very soul of our kingdom. You are not only guardians of the queen, you are guardians of hope." And so, the two warriors stood proudly as heroes. They had faced impossible odds, but their loyalty and courage had triumphed. The kingdom was safe, the queen was alive, and peace returned once more thanks to the guardians who never gave up.